Success is built. It's engineered. It's the direct result of the habits you build into your life. Because no matter how big your goals are, no matter how ambitious your vision, no matter how much potential you carry, if your daily habits don't support that vision, you'll never see it come to life. Most people want success, but they live by habits that guarantee mediocrity. They say they want to win, but they don't act like it. They say they want to change, but their patterns stay the same. They talk about goals, but they live in cycles. They make plans, but their habits contradict their progress. And the truth is, your habits will always win. They will either build you or break you. They will either align with your potential or undermine it. They will either move you forward with quiet power or pull you backward without making a sound. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And your systems are nothing more than the collection of habits you live by every single day. That's why you can't just hope for success. You can't wait for discipline. You can't depend on motivation. You have to engineer a life that makes success inevitable. You have to construct a foundation so strong, so clear, so consistent that no setback can shake it, no distraction can weaken it, no failure can collapse it. And that foundation is built with habits, not dramatic changes, not overnight transformations, but consistent, deliberate action that becomes second nature. Because habits don't just change what you do, they change who you become. They shift your identity. They rewire your belief system. They move you from someone who wants success to someone who expects it. Someone who operates like it, lives like it, leads like it. And the best part is, once a habit is locked in, it no longer requires constant effort. Once it becomes part of who you are, it carries you. You don't have to fight yourself anymore. You don't have to negotiate every decision. You just show up. You just do the work. You just follow through. And when that kind of execution becomes normal, your results begin to compound. You start gaining ground faster than you ever thought possible. Because now, you're no longer depending on bursts of energy. You're powered by consistency. You're no longer wasting time with starts and stops. You're making uninterrupted progress. The people who win, the ones you admire, the ones who seem to be cut from a different cloth, they're not special. They just built different habits. They made different decisions. They trained themselves to live differently, think differently, act differently. And those habits, they're not a secret. They're available to you right now. You can adopt them. You can install them. You can condition yourself to live at that level. But you have to be willing to take responsibility. You have to be willing to unlearn the habits that got you here and replace them with the ones that will take you there. This is not about adding more to your life. It's about replacing what no longer serves you. This is not about perfection. It's about alignment. It's about creating a system of behaviors so tightly connected to your vision that your habits carry you, even on the hard days. Because in the end, success is not something you chase. It's something you attract by the person you become. And that person, the version of you who is operating at the highest level, is built habit by habit, action by action, day by day. The first critical habit that will define your success, more than talent, more than motivation, more than even discipline in the beginning, is the habit of owning your time. The way you treat time will determine everything else. Your productivity, your results, your peace, your growth. If you waste it, you lose control of your future. If you master it, You start building momentum that compounds in every area of your life. And yet most people live as if time is endless. They act like there will always be more. More hours, more days, more chances, but there won't be. Your time is not a resource you can get back. Every hour you waste is gone. Every morning you ignore is a missed opportunity. Every evening you zone out is one more chance to grow that slipped through your hands. You have to stop treating your time casually, because the people who win, who really win, treat time like a sacred asset. They don't waste it. They don't surrender it. They don't let other people control it. They protect it like their life depends on it, because it does. So how do you build that habit? You begin with clarity. If you don't know what matters most, everything feels important. If you don't know what your real goals are, you'll get pulled into everyone else's. You'll spend your days reacting instead of creating. You need a system, a daily rhythm that prioritizes your most valuable actions first. Not the urgent things, not the comfortable things. The things that actually move your life forward. You carve time for them. You lock it in. You make it non-negotiable. That means waking up on purpose. No more snooze button. No more starting your day in reaction. You start with intention. You start with ownership. You start with a decision to lead your day instead of being led by it. Most people start their day checking their phone, emails, messages. And the moment they do that, they're on defense. They've handed their mental real estate to someone else. Now they're not thinking clearly. They're reacting. Now they're not focused. They're distracted. You need space before the world touches you. You need space to think, to plan, to align with your goals. Even 30 minutes in the morning, locked in, uninterrupted, intentional, can change the trajectory of your day. That's not a routine, that's a weapon. And it doesn't stop there. Once your day starts, time management becomes the discipline of saying no, because there will always be something trying to steal your focus. There will always be something urgent. There will always be someone else's agenda. But just because something is urgent does not mean it's important. Just because someone wants your time does not mean they deserve it. Just because you feel busy does not mean you're being productive. Productivity is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters. And doing what matters means identifying your highest value activities and building your day around them. It means creating blocks of focused work. It means removing distractions before they show up. And most of all, it means being honest, brutally honest, about how much time you waste, about how often you check your phone, about how often you escape, because we all have 24 hours. And if someone else is creating more results, they're just using those hours differently. So you audit your time, you track it. You look at how much of your day is spent doing things that align with your future and how much is spent staying the same. And when you see it clearly, you change it. Not by trying harder, but by building habits that make it automatic. You schedule the things that matter most. You create anchors in your day, set routines that keep you grounded. You eliminate decisions, because every decision costs energy. And the more energy you waste deciding when to do something, the less likely you'll follow through. Successful people don't make 100 different decisions every day. They make a few, and they make them in advance. They eat the same meals. They plan their weeks. They build a rhythm that makes execution easier. That's not boring. That's strategic. Because freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want. Freedom comes from creating structure, that frees your mind to focus on what matters most. If you want to become great at something, anything, you need uninterrupted time to practice it, to study, to reflect, to build. And that means you have to protect your time like it's your life, because it is. And when you do, when you consistently show up for those windows of focus, everything starts to shift. Your work gets better. Your energy improves. Your thinking clears. Your confidence builds. You start respecting yourself because you're no longer reacting. You're no longer drifting. You're no longer just getting by. You're building something with intention, with purpose, with momentum. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. What used to feel like effort becomes automatic. What used to be hard becomes your baseline. Because now, your habits are aligned with your goals. Your time is serving your future. The second critical habit for success is mastering your focus. Because time without focus is wasted. Motion without concentration leads nowhere. You can show up, but if your mind isn't sharp, if you're scattered, distracted, fragmented, you'll spend hours working and have nothing to show for it. The world is loud, it's always buzzing, always reaching, always calling for your attention. And if you don't train yourself to protect your focus, you'll live your life in fragments. 10 seconds here, 30 seconds there. 5 minutes of TV, 10 minutes of multitasking. And before you know it, your day is gone and nothing meaningful got done. Focus is the new currency. In a distracted world, the ability to focus is a superpower. It's the difference between people who create at an elite level and people who stay stuck in busy work. It's the gap between those who execute and those who just talk about executing. You cannot reach your potential unless you learn how to direct your attention fully, deeply, consistently, because your attention is the gateway to your mind. What you focus on expands. What you ignore withers. What you feed grows stronger. And most people are feeding the wrong things. They're feeding distraction. They're feeding worry. They're feeding fear. They're giving their best attention to low-value inputs, then wondering why their output is mediocre. You must take control of what you let into your mind. That means filtering your inputs. That means cutting out the noise. That means saying no to distractions, to shallow conversations, to the habits that keep your mind busy, but never make it better. Because if your mind is full of clutter, there's no space for vision. If your thoughts are fractured, there's no strength in your decision-making. If your attention is divided, your results will be diluted. So you must train your focus like a muscle. Start with a simple rule. Eliminate multitasking. You may think you're doing multiple things at once, but you're not. You're just switching rapidly, losing momentum with every switch. Every time you switch from one task to another, your brain loses traction. It takes time to ramp back up. You lose speed, you lose clarity, you lose presence, and over time, you lose your edge. Focus means going all in. One task, one priority, one intention at a time. It means blocking out time to go deep, not wide. It means giving your best energy to your most valuable work. Not what's easy, not what's urgent, what truly matters. And to do that, you need to create environments that support your focus. You need physical spaces free of distraction, mental spaces free of chaos. You need clarity around what your highest value work is. And you need time dedicated to doing it, uninterrupted. This is not something you build overnight. It's something you train, bit by bit, one focused block at a time. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. You start to enjoy the depth. You start to crave the clarity. You stop needing the noise. Because here's the truth. The world has trained you to be distracted, to chase novelty, to check your phone every few minutes, to watch TV all day. But that wiring can be undone, and it must be undone if you want to do work that matters. So start small. Build the muscle. Block 25 minutes for deep work. No television, no interruptions. One task, full intensity, then rest, then repeat. Build up. Expand your capacity. Learn what it feels like to go deep. And once you taste it, once you experience the momentum that comes from sustained focus, you'll never want to go back. You'll start protecting that space. You'll start craving the quiet. You'll start guarding your mind with the intensity of someone who understands its value. Because your mind is your greatest asset. And if it's constantly scattered, constantly reacting, constantly pulled in 10 directions, you'll never reach your highest level. But if it's trained, if it's focused, if it's present, you become unstoppable. You'll make better decisions. You'll execute faster. You'll notice details others miss. You'll do work that is not only effective, but excellent. Because now, you're not just showing up. You're arriving with full presence, with precision, with power. And when focus becomes a habit, your entire life sharpens. Your conversations get better. Your relationships deepen. Your thoughts gain weight. Your actions gain impact. Because you are no longer scattered. You are anchored. So do the work. Rebuild your attention. Create rituals that protect your focus. Say no to the noise. Say yes to depth. Train your mind to concentrate, to lock in, to go all the way. Because the person who can focus in a distracted world will always win. The third critical habit to build lasting success is the habit of physical energy management. Because your body is not separate from your goals. It is not a side detail. It is the vessel that carries you through everything. And if your energy is low, your standards will fall. If your body is tired, your mind won't be sharp. If your system is weak, your performance will break, no matter how driven you are. You cannot create high-level output from a depleted system. You cannot expect focus, clarity, consistency, execution, or confidence from a body that is running on fumes. And yet that's how most people live. They grind through exhaustion. They fuel themselves with caffeine and stress. They live in a cycle of survival. And then they wonder why their motivation disappears, why their mood crashes, why their consistency breaks down. Your physical energy is not optional. It's essential. It is the foundation beneath every other habit you build. You can have the best time management system. You can have razor-sharp focus. But if your body is breaking down, your foundation will crack. This is not about being a fitness model. It's not about being obsessed with health. It's about understanding that your body is your performance tool. It's about treating it with the same intensity you give to your goals. Because your body affects your mind. Your energy affects your thinking. Your physiology affects your psychology. The first habit you need is movement. You cannot sit still for hours and expect your brain to stay sharp. You were not designed for stillness. You were designed to move. Your brain thrives on oxygen. Your posture shapes your confidence. Your blood flow fuels your clarity. And if you do not move daily, you are cutting your capacity before the day even begins. You don't need to train for hours. You don't need to become a bodybuilder. You need a system of daily motion. walking, stretching, lifting, moving your body with intention, something that gets your blood flowing, something that activates your nervous system, something that signals we're here, we're alive, we're ready. This is not about exercise, it's about energy. It's about creating a physiological state that supports focus, discipline, and execution. And the more consistent it becomes, the more natural it feels. Your body starts working for you instead of against you. Then there's sleep, the non-negotiable foundation that almost everyone treats as optional. But your brain cannot recover without it. Your hormones cannot balance without it. Your creativity, your discipline, your memory, your emotional control, all of it is powered by the quality of your sleep. You cannot hustle your way through sleep deprivation. You can't trick your system. You can mask it temporarily, but eventually it catches up. And when it does, it's not just your energy that breaks. It's your consistency, your habits, your momentum. So you treat sleep like a strategic weapon. You create a wind-down routine. You protect your sleep window. You remove television late at night. You train your system to rest deeply, consistently. Because every time you wake up exhausted, you're starting the day with a deficit. And then there's fuel, your nutrition. Your body is a performance machine. What you feed it determines how it runs. And most people are putting garbage into their system and expecting elite performance. They eat for comfort, not for clarity. They eat for convenience, not for energy. This is not about dieting. It's not about counting every calorie. It's about choosing food that supports you, that sustains your energy, that keeps your blood sugar stable, that keeps your mood strong, that keeps your focus intact. Because you cannot build momentum if your energy crashes every afternoon. You cannot be consistent if your mind is foggy. You cannot lead yourself if you're constantly in a cycle of peaks and valleys. And you don't need perfection. You need intention. You need a few high-impact shifts that raise your baseline. More water, more protein, more real food, fewer chemicals, fewer spikes, fewer things that drag your energy down. You need to build recovery into your rhythm, because success is not about going 100 miles an hour every day. It's about managing intensity. It's about knowing when to push and when to pull back, when to go hard and when to recover. Because recovery is not a break from success. It is a part of it. You cannot sustain high output without recovery, just like you cannot build strength without rest between sets. You cannot build long-term success without space to reset. So you build habits that allow you to decompress, to unplug, to breathe. This might be walks, meditation, reading, time away from the television, reflection, anything that calms your nervous system and resets your energy. Because the calmer you are, the clearer you think, and the clearer you think, the better decisions you make. You don't wait until burnout forces you to slow down. You schedule recovery like you schedule work. You create space to restore so you can return stronger. Because that's what this is really about. Resilience, longevity, consistency. Because success is not about what you can do in a day. It's about what you can sustain over months, over years, over a lifetime. And that's not possible without high energy, without a system that supports your performance, without a body that matches the demands of your goals. The fourth critical habit to lock in your success is the habit of emotional regulation. Because even if your time is structured, Your focus is sharp. Your energy is strong. If you cannot master your emotions, you will break in high-pressure moments. You will make impulsive decisions. You will react instead of respond. And one emotional outburst can destroy weeks, even years of progress. Your emotions are signals. They are not problems. They are not enemies. They are messengers trying to tell you something. And if you don't learn how to hear them, if you don't train yourself to respond instead of react, your emotions will drive your life off track. Most people are emotionally reactive.